All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody, back to Popular Demand. I am here, and we're going to do some work on AI this morning. Um, just checking, give everybody a minute to join us. So, the feedback from last week was this was entirely life-changing. No, I'm kidding. But you are going to learn along with me in the ways that we can. What we covered last week is I effectively used AI to put together the parts of my business that I thought I could automate or incorporate it into in some form or fashion. And it gave me a few options here. It says, all right, I can build an acquisition letter for you. So my idea here is that I want to be able to upload a list of parcel numbers and have it custom generate offer letters. Um, we still do blind offers as one touch in our marketing. So this way, instead of everybody getting sort of a generic offer letter, they could get one that has sort of a custom conversational feel to it. But I also have it set up so that it'll reference, a local event, maybe some local um, street or, a lot of these properties that we market to are near national parks or whatever. So it'll make reference to some sort of local geological or festive feature, so that the locals will feel as if, hey, this guy knows what's going on around here. Maybe he is a local. Maybe he's not just some greedy real estate investor, which I think is um, not going to be the difference maker in whether somebody sells a property to you or not. Maybe it'll catch their eye and they'll read the whole thing. But now that there's more competition in this space, anything that you can do to nominally separate yourself from your competition is valuable. So we have that pretty much put together, and I was just actually testing it out before um, bringing y'all on. Let's see if we can do it. So the whole deal here is this is the prompt that I ended up making here. It says, go to the county assessor's website, confirm it, then use some of the following information. But let's prompt it again, and I'm gonna save the prompt. I'm gonna see if I can have it generate the prompt for me, and then I can save it so that it's really easy to access. Apparently, I didn't even really save it last time. So, okay, ChatGPT, I need you to create custom offer letters for me for the uploaded for the uh, landowners that are uploaded in the spreadsheet below. I want you to generate a custom offer letter for each one that references a couple local landmarks, festivities, major roads, etc. I want the letter to be relatively short and punchy. I want it to have a, I want it to be conversational and include a couple spelling errors. Um, please let me know. So please take this information and create the ideal prompt that I can give you in the future. to ensure that you can execute this properly. I still have my kids home, so at any given time, a kid might come flying in here. Okay, so here it gave me the prompt. It's going to give me offer letter template example. Spreadsheet includes following columns: APN, owner name, mailing address, city, state, acreage, and offer price. I need you to generate a custom offer. Reference a couple of local landmarks, festivities, and major roads specific to the county. To be short, conversational, and slightly informal with friendly tone. Include a couple of spelling or grammar errors to make it feel authentic. I didn't even tell it that was for authenticity, but it kind of read through that. That's cool. Be customized to include. Okay, so let's take this prompt, copy, paste, and I have county list here, an old list. Let's see. It's acting a little slow this morning. I guess everybody's planning their day with ChatGPT right now. So while that's working, and it seems to be struggling with the upload function. Okay, so uploaded. Let's see. All right, so that's one of the things that we're working on is acquisition letters. I did play around with that more since the last time that we were on, and it works really well. What I haven't done is stress test it. So, when you're sending letters, obviously, typically, you're not sending one or two at a time. I guess we do that often. But for this, you're probably going to want to be generating like, I don't know, hundreds. So we would have to see how well it could do generating hundreds of them. Um, Now, if it is having an issue, I'm pretty sure I can just add it to the prompt to say, hey, do these in batches of 100 so it doesn't become overwhelming for you. And then I've realized that with ChatGPT, I still have to go in and constantly check in on it to make sure that what it's providing me is valuable. For example, I worked on it to create a content calendar. This is kind of another thing I'm running this month or this year is I'm using ChatGPT to prompt me for how to create, 100 different potentially viral videos. And I wanted it to create an entire year, put them on a calendar, give me the idea, the instructions, the hashtags, um, and then break it out like this. And I had to prompt it over and over. It was like a petulant child to get it to do this correctly. I think it probably took 12 attempts. And it didn't really seem to care how effective or like how unique the prompts were. So the one that actually worked was almost identical. The one that actually created this document was actually identical to one that I had used like three times before. And what it kept doing is it would say, instead of actually providing unique content ideas here, it would have the date and then it would just say content idea in each cell. And then instructions just say create a video. Like the instructions are still kind of useless, right? Like include relevant examples, tips, and visual, not much of that. And then the hashtags are still extremely generic and there's all these errors in them. So, um, not the most powerful thing, but it did what it did, right? So I'm going to take it and I'm going to reiterate upon it. So for example, in February, I told it to line up content ideas with holidays. The February 14th should have something that's Valentine's related, and I don't see anything Valentine's related. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the spreadsheet and I'm gonna reiterate in ChatGPT, and then I'm also gonna start testing Claude and other AIs to find out kind of what's the most valuable for which task. My wife Alyssa's been playing around with Claude a lot, and she really likes it. I've been trying to do some research on what distinguishes these two things. The chief distinguisher is our, ChatGPT is um, really just, I should say, it's most exceptional because it's online, right? So it can go and do real-time research on the web, whereas my understanding is that Claude is updated with all the information on the internet up to a certain date. So Claude may only have information up to whatever, a few months ago or something like that. Okay, so this is weird. So this thing is still providing this issue. And it definitely did this for me. So if we go up here, I uploaded the parcel number. Where can I find the example? All right, download custom offer letters. So I know I definitely had it do this. So I don't know if there's some sort of issue with ChatGPT this morning. Let's see. Oh well. Okay. Well, we'll come back to that one since apparently it's really struggling. But the prompt did work for me as of I think Friday. And my goal is to structure it so it's not only generating custom offer letters, but it's also uh, able to do cold email generation for me, um, text message generation, which I don't know. I probably won't use that, but maybe other people will. And then I wanted to couple this with some AI ringless voicemail services so that I can do ringless voicemail blasts that all have custom uh, voice and verbiage that's used in each one. So apparently all of this is possible. You can train an AI to sound like you. You could upload all of these things to it. It will do all the RVM calling, and that will be kind of step two in the touch cycle. Send the letter, drop the RVMs, or vice versa. Actually, I might do RVMs first and then text messaging, or excuse me, the letters. All right, so let's review our doc to see kind of what are the other things that we're working on. All right, so marketing and sales. This is the other thing I was telling you about. I was working on the content calendar for viral videos. Um, I'm going to kind of try to run a competition with myself to see, how much attention I can draw using these sorts of approaches. I'm going to dig deeper here because, the cheapest form of marketing is viral videos in terms of like money spent. But it is the most expensive in terms of time. There's nothing as kind of soul-sucking and annoying and frustrating as trying to create, at least for me, as trying to create social media content. And it's not really the sort of thing that you can outsource and expect virality because, in my experience, I've paid people a lot of money to run social media in the past. And frustratingly, the thing that was most effective was literally just copy and pasting other viral videos onto your stream. And I don't really like that. I'd rather contribute something unique or genuine. Um, but if you do that, you don't know what's going to hit. So that's kind of the whole idea of pursuing this. And I think probably what's going to be the most valuable thing is not just the list and the regular execution, but it's going to be kind of studying the results. What does catch and hold? What does get 1,000 views or 10,000 views? Um, and a lot of what seems to stick right now is those like quick transitions in. So I'm gonna have to figure a way to incorporate that. So it might be like, if I'm recording here, I would be off camera and then be like, "Hey, everybody," something like that. And that's like the sort of stuff that catches people's attention. Um, Oops, I'm getting a call. Hold Anyways, so let's see if we have anyone live with us right now. How we doing here? All right, we got a few people on. Stone's on. What's up? Thanks, Stone. Yeah, so Stone knows what's up. I'm struggling with this, and it's like um, you kind of keep hitting it over and over again to make it work. Uh, Let me try one more time. The other thing that it did last time that it was successful was it verified the information first. So maybe I should try that. Verify the information here first, and then generate the letters and letters. Oh, cool. Glad y'all are watching. Um, well, it's doing something different. Yeah, I'm telling you, I tell my wife this. It's like AI is just a petulant child. It's like you just got a redheaded stepchild, you know? Um, okay, so that's working. Anyways, so in pursuit of the viral content, I don't know how effective that will be. The one of the things that I want to try today is supposedly you can find what makes your competition successful and kind of evaluates their social media platforms to see what's bringing them success. So I might think about doing that where I kind of log in and I find a couple producers and see what's working for them. Like one guy I know that shows up on my Instagram, all he does is effectively like review a listing. He's like, um, for $300,000, you can buy this 72-acre ranch in Texas. Is it worth this? It's got a well. And it literally just flips through a few photos. And this guy has like tens of thousands of views. And then there's another one that's really popular, Landio. I don't know if you ever used that or looked into using that service to market your properties. That just it's super expensive. And I've reviewed that a little bit, and it appears that they uh, are paying for the views. So I don't know how valuable that service is. Okay, so here we got our 10 offer letters. Let's see. See, I don't know why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's like the most annoying thing. So that makes me feel like we have a limitation here. So if I go this route, it will only maybe publish um, 10 at a time before it breaks or whatever. All right, so it's pretty good. Here we have to obviously clear up. It shouldn't say offer letter one, offer letter two. I just stumbled across your property. Beautiful piece of 1.91 acres. It's right near the historic heart of Texas Memorial Park and a short drive from how honestly properties like this don't come along every day. So here it's kind of interesting. You don't really want to pump them up on the property. Be like, oh, this property is so unique and beautiful, and then I'm going to offer them shit money for it. So there's definitely some verbiage to work on there. With the McCulloch County Goat Cook-Off coming up soon, which is 100% true. The first time I read this about the goat cook-off, I was like, oh, okay, man, this must be one of those like illusions that it's always talking about, or where it's daydreaming and just making shit up. But sure enough, McCulloch County's got this big goat cook-off, goat chili cook-off thing. It's wild. Um, Interesting. So we'll have to refine this. So let's go back since it's working now and refine it a little bit, and we'll test it again next week. So I told it to create the prompt for me. Yes. All right. All right. So I had you create a prompt a little while ago for these offer letters, and we need to update it. Do you see the prompt? So I found this is just what it all is. It's just iterating. All right. So to remove I want to remove offer letter one, etc. from each letter. No bueno there. I also don't want these letters to um, exaggerate or even promote the value of each lot because I am an investor and am offering below value, below retail value for each property. All right, so let's see what it does. See what's going on here. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. Well, that works. So the other things I want to explore for marketing and sales is I want it to generate um, media for me, uh, images for me, and I'm going to play around with some of these. I've worked with the ChatGPT one, the Dolly one a lot. Apparently, Claude is more affordable, or whatever the Claude version is for the image generation. And I thought this might be kind of a fun way to just create a lot of simple content. Is like I asked ChatGPT to generate, or Dolly to generate an image of um, a guy riding an ATV in this specific area that I or one of my clients has land in, and then just post it. And I want to create this as a tool, and I've actually done this. I need to check on it again, but I created an automation where it would prompt Dolly to generate one of these images for me and just save it to my computer every day. I turned it off because they started building up and they weren't very useful. Like the I just have to work on the prompt more. So I'm going to try to reinvigorate that one and automate it so that every day I'm getting an image. That's probably one I'm going to work on today, depending on how things are going here. And then next is hot market identification. So I'm curious to see how um, deep AI will go. I'm going to first start by using ChatGPT to generate a podcast script for me so that I can really understand a single state as a market. So I'm going to start with Texas. That's what I'm most familiar with. But my goal will be to try to have an episode where I discuss markets and areas for states um, for every state. So that way I'll have like a huge podcast series that's going to have a ton of content that'll be on my website and be good for SEO and stuff like that. But also, this stuff's genuinely very interesting to me because these sorts of things usually play into the history of a region and how things have shaped and grown and changed, and that stuff's all very fascinating to me. So I'm going to start with Texas, and I'm going to have it not only maybe help inform my marketing, but generate that podcast with me. Social media growth. Um, Here, this is going to be more focused on SEO. Stone, you're listening, or we're listening. This is where I'm trying to kind of figure out exactly, what's the line between AI actually doing and generating content for your website. Um, See how that values SEO or improves SEO versus, um, if you're doing it to effectively tell you what's right and then you write it. Because apparently now Google and some of these other services can tell if text is AI generated. I don't know how that would work. Um, so a lot of the SEO that was like people, I know some guys, Jason did this, I think, where he was like, all right, I'm gonna have ChatGPT draft 1,000 different blogs for me, and I'm gonna upload them all on my website. Just, really boost my AI using that. Um, so we'll see. But one of the things that I want to look into here as well is an SEO tool that I can buy on the cheap from AppSumo to just give it a go. If y'all are unfamiliar with AppSumo, this thing is thebomb.com. You effectively just go in here and you can buy um, services and software that are really early on. And typically you can buy lifetime subscriptions for hella cheap. I've done this for a few services. One, like when we first started land investing years ago, we started working with Scott Todd in that group, and they're like, well, you need to get a digital signature service. And a lot of people are paying like 20, 30 bucks, 40 bucks a month for a signature service. And we came in here and we bought a lifetime subscription to one for like 20 bucks. And it's sick. It's grown and improved year over year, and we never pay more than the initial 20 bucks. So I want to do the same thing here. So I'm going to peruse these today, and I'm going to make a purchase on one to see, uh, you know, what I can do to kind of, mindlessly behind the scenes improve SEO. Um, See if I can get one that's best for Shopify because my website's built on Shopify. Anyways, so that's one thing we're working with, and I'm gonna loop back in ChatGPT to do that. So let's see how it did on the next batch of custom offer letters. So we prompted it to remove offer letter one. Okay, it did that. And then we didn't want it to have the same tone of voice, which was like, your property is super valuable. All right, located near the heart of Texas National Park off of Highway 87. I'd like to make you an offer of. We specialize in. So that's pretty good. The next thing I need to refine, I think, the is this actually where the property is? Um, so let's see if they're all referring to the same goat cook-off, same park, same highway. Okay, is this the exact same letter? That's the same letter. That's the same letter. That's the same letter. All right, so it's also failing to make each one unique. All right, these are good, but each letter should be unique. Please update the prompt. Also, you need to verify location of each property to ensure they are actually near these things. And let's cut it down. Let's only reference one local um, thing per letter. So, my thought here is I don't need it to reference the cook-off and the road and the park and whatever else, especially in these areas where there's not much going on. Um, so we're gonna run this one more time. Okay, back to our document. Operational solutions. Um, So here, I don't think it can do this, honestly. It says I can tell it all the different services and softwares that I use, and it will be able to like optimize for it. I don't think so. I mean, I've been trying to like study this, and it's really not at all the sort of thing that it does well. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like Brad's been using this to generate images. Just checking to see if people are trying to talk to me. I'm not good at paying attention to that. Here now, what I have heard is that you can give it a property and have it do some due diligence work on it. You'd have to verify all of that, but you can create a script for it to run due diligence on a property as long as you provide it the APN. So you can ask it about zoning, floodplain, all that sort of stuff. That'll probably be its own video because you'll have to really like know how to verify and check all that information. Because again, I've just had this thing lie to me before, so it's like, what's the value of having it try to do something if it's just not something that you can trust, right? So, hmm. All right. So here we have, for some reason, verified custom offers. Uh, very simple. Maybe too short. What do you think? Maybe too short. Near the courthouse. Are these near the courthouse? So, all right, we're getting further. I'm gonna leave that one alone till next week. I'm gonna go ahead and save the prompt. That'll be yeah. And then each week I'm gonna just update the prompts. So acquisition letter prompts. Cool. All right. So financial and capital innovation. So again, this is a list that I asked ChatGPT to draft for me, and this is pretty useless. It talks about maybe how I could get. I asked it like, is there an opportunity to improve, capital raising? Or no, I outline my business, and that's one of the things I do is raise capital. So it was like saying it could help me there, but I don't foresee it helping me there. The only thing I could see is maybe having it help me make pitch decks, viral video ideas. I guess I was kind of talking about that up here when around organic social media growth, and then advanced strategies to dominate markets. And again, it kind of says these things that I should do, and I asked it, "Can you help me with these things?" And um, it's all kind of batched together. So we'll see. That's kind of similar to what we were talking about up here. So what's the next one we should tackle? I kind of want to do the hot markets one. So let's get into that. All right, we have a new project. I want to learn as much as possible about the real estate market in Texas. My goal is to use this information for real estate investing purposes, as well as to generate content for a podcast. Let's just focus on the real estate investing portion first. Help me create a prompt. Oh, this is one thing I have been forgetting a little bit here. You are a real estate investor researcher. Please generate the prompt. I need to get this done. Also, before you start, ask me any questions necessary. Boom. Okay, let's see what it gives me. Do. Glad to help. You better be. Specific areas of interest. Are there any particular cities or regions? Types of properties, investment goals. So one, no specific region. I want it to be all encompassing. Two, this is for land, but this should be informed by residential demand, commercial demand, etc. Investment goals, I want to buy and sell land, sometimes develop and subdivide, but nothing vertical. Or if I can type market trends. Are you interested in current market trends? Yes, this has to be as current as possible. And I want you to cite where this information is coming from so I can verify. Budget considerations. Um, I'm open to anything up to $2 million. Regulatory interest. I'm open to anything here. Boom. Let's see. Okay. General market trends. So here again, it's being a petulant child. It didn't tell me what I asked for was a prompt. Okay, let's just stop it. For answering me, let's ensure this prompt is correct. Please generate the ideal prompt. Gather this information. It needs to be very in depth and will likely be very long. But write it in bullet points so it's easy to digest. All right, overview of the Texas market. Why would it go to 2023? It's 2025 is what it needs to be. So, try this. Let's update this to 2025. Let's do 2023, 2024 here. Let's see what we got. No, let's just save this in prompts right away. So this is county research or state research, market research. Yeah, start the research. I guess I might have to make sure that the prompt is actually prompting something to get done here. Okay, how we doing here? So, overview of the Texas real estate market. The Texas real estate market remains a dynamic environment characterized by strong demand and robust construction. Okay. Interest rates, regional, Central Texas, North Texas, East Texas, West Texas, land development, market analysis. Okay. So, look how short this is. It's so useless. So, um, this is so generic as to be useless. Please give me data that I can reference. It should look like Dallas DFW has seen 10% growth year over year for the past 5 years, something like that. See how we do. How do we do? Now, what is nice is it's giving me all these links, and that's research that I really like. All right, so here's a little better. The DFW area has seen significant growth of median home prices. Building permits. Dallas and Houston have issued the most additional single-family building permits in the nation. Ooh, yeah, I'm pulling a Dallas permit right now. It's not fun. Um, Market correction. Interesting. So Austin, actually, I was just talking to somebody about this. Austin prices are dropping. Bubble alert. Um, Houston, San Antonio, rural Texas. So I think the only way to do this is going to be like prompt it for each region. Okay, give me in depth on North Texas and all the major cities, um, etc., and have it kind of rotate through. So let's try that. Okay, this is still overbroad. Please start with one area and go as in depth as possible, reviewing each city and discussing its demand for housing and growth or in real estate value. So, of course, it's going to go to DFW, reading some websites. The Dallas housing market is experiencing a slight cooling with a modest decline in home values predicted in 2025. Specific home values are expected to see a cumulative drop around 5%, half of 1%. Um, Fort Worth, northeast sector of DFW, encompassing cities like McKinney, Frisco, Denton, and Allen. Significant growth. These areas have been identified as a real estate hotspot. Substantial. Okay, this is good, but I really want to see some stats. So the hard part is a lot of the areas that land investors are operating in aren't in Dallas, right? So the further you get out from these major cities, the less articles there are on the value of real estate and things like that. So let's try again, only let's go a little more remote. Okay, most of the time I don't actually buy in a major city. Do the same thing, but for areas about an hour drive from a major city. So let's see what it does. All right. So here it does suburban. What a nightmare. While the urban centers that seem to stabilize and moderate increase, rural tend to follow a slightly different pattern, reflecting a more balanced market condition. Remote and hybrid work setups. Yeah, so it does the same thing. It's giving me like kind of summaries, which I guess is worth something, but it's still not hard stats. No, here's some. So stabilizing mortgage rates, smart home trends. Hmm. So I'm really have to work on this one. Um, I'm going to have it really work on stats, but maybe these stats aren't out there. I don't know. Um, so I think I may have to have it focus on things like more specific, like, okay, are there any major business announcements in Texas, like a new company opening here or closing here or anything like that, or new infrastructure going in? If so, how could that, affect the, actually, let's just go ahead and try this. Okay. Are there any new business openings or infrastructure improvements in Texas that might affect land values somewhere? See, I think I just have to be very, very specific with each of these questions because, like, if I ask it to do a lot of work at once, it's five paragraphs. It's like that's its default size. I'm gonna give you five paragraphs of something not super useful. I'm not a big fan of that. Really grinds my gears. Okay, highway expansions. My buddy's running tunnels under 35 right now. It's crazy. Interesting. I-45, port improvements. Interesting. So here, it's been talking about this rail project for a while, so I'm gonna have to go in depth on that one. Tech and business growth, wide range of industries from tech. So I have to ask it to be more specific on that. Same thing. Yeah, so how do I get you to be much more specific when answering me? Don't tell me to be precise in my queries. All right. Well, I have to get ready for my next call, so I'm going to stop here, but this is good information. So I'm going to work on this over the course of the week. I'm going to tighten up that AI generator for offer letters, and then I'm also going to work on this to give me kind of a detailed drill down of an entire state. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have it create a template for how I would go about doing this and say, hey, generate a template for me on how I would investigate an entire state to identify hot markets, et cetera. And then I'm going to use that to start building out this like enormous prompt. Because I think in order for it to actually answer this, it's going to have to be a giant prompt. So it's going to take a lot of trial and error. So hopefully next week when we're here, I'll be able to demonstrate this hard work and give you a really sick prompt to do a bunch of like very specific market research. All right, until then, thanks for joining me, folks. I'll see you next Monday. Adios.